I would like to think that I would have been successful. I mean, it's better starting out. I had a father who was in the real estate business in Brooklyn and Queens. My father was a worker, and he loved to work. He'd work on Saturdays, he'd work on Sundays. He just liked it. He'd go to church, but after church, he'd go and work. He just loved it, and I think more than anything else, not because of what he taught me lots of different things.
My father was a very hard-working man. He loves to do work all the time, even when he goes to church. After church, he goes to work. He has always taught me to be more hardworking, and the same thing I am teaching my kids. To be very honest, I got the best kids. They are so intelligent and they know the difference between wrong and right. I always tell my kids to stay away from drink and drugs, and according to me, those are the artificial barriers in your life. I call them artificial barriers because you can control them. But after you start drinking, it's really difficult to stop yourself. I had a brother. His name was Fred, but unfortunately, he was an alcoholic. His personality was way better than mine. He was so handsome, and with time, it got worse. He used to say to me that don't ever drink and smoke because it ruins you for a lifetime. Chase your dreams, have faith in yourself, be proud of what you're doing, and show courage. No matter what other people say, just don't give up. We are ones as a united nation. No matter if you are brown, black, or white, you belong to this country. No one will ever stop you from reaching your goals or fulfilling your dreams. You just have to be loyal to yourself and to this country. Be kind to the people of this country, and things will always be in your favor.
But I watched him be a happy man and work until he was like literally 93. He was 93 years old when he died. So I have a lot of friends, they take vacations for 6 weeks and 8 weeks and 3 months, and they're never happy. So I watched my father, so I like to work. You have some kids that aren't so smart that work very hard that do very well. I mean, I've seen it many times. You know, I was blessed to have smart children. They did well in school, they got good marks, they didn't have problems. But a lot of that was early upbringing. I'd always say to them, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. I'd drive them crazy. I'd say every time they'd leave, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. Repeat after me. But I'd drum it into their heads. And you know, you have to get through those artificial barriers. I call them artificial barriers because you can do something about it until it's too late. Once it's in your system, it's very hard to stop. Like, I don't drink. And it's very easy for me not to drink. I tell people, what are you drinking for? What are you drinking for? I had a brother, Fred, who was sadly an alcoholic, a serious alcoholic. He was much older. He was 10 years older than me, 11 years older than me, and he was as good-looking a guy as you've ever seen. He had everything going. The best personality. I have like a bad personality compared to Fred. But he started drinking, and he also smoked a lot. I think it started in college, frankly, but it got progressively worse. And he was really unable to stop. And he'd always tell me, don't you ever drink, and don't you ever smoke. He'd add the smoke in it because he smoked and he drank. And it hugely affected his health and hugely affected even his look. So I never drank. I mean, I really, when you talk about my father, I learned a lot from my father, but I learned a lot from my brother, Fred. And he set an example. It wasn't maybe the example that people would think, but it really was, in its own way, an example.
I've spent my entire life in business looking at the untapped potential in projects and in people all over the world.
And I didn't like seeing that.
Spectacular people, sometimes underappreciated, unfortunately, but we appreciate them. We know what they go through.
People I know that are really tough and really smart, and right now that's what we need. We need toughness. We need this, we need the brain power, and we need toughness. That's a tremendously powerful weapon if they knew how to use it. They really do have a tremendously powerful weapon, but they don't use it, and they don't use it properly. They are terrible negotiators. I think right now what people want is they want competence. They're tired of other things. That's very important to people now.
We must always remember that we share one home and one glorious destiny. Whether we are brown, black, or white, and we are all made by the same Almighty God. I say it is time for us to come together as one united people. As long as you have pride in your beliefs, courage in your convictions, and faith in your God, then you will not fail.